Hello everyone! So today we are going to be looking at the SX Mini box briefly and the DAMN Vape. So yeah, we're going to be doing a DAMN review on the DAMN RDA called the Dread. The DAMN Dreaded RDA. Anyway, I thought I would have some fun with that. You know, like the National Lampoons, you know, the I'm Your Damn Tour Guide and that whole thing. Anyway.
I am your damn guide, Arnie. No one wander off the damn tour. And please take all the damn pictures you want. Now, are there any damn questions?
Yeah, we're gonna get some damn bait.
So today we're doing a quick little assembly for this. I have to go to a wedding this weekend, so I'm gonna bring you guys with me. I'm gonna build this and use this all weekend, and I'll give you kind of a play-by-play as things progress, yeah? So I'll bring you along. Anyway, out the box, we have the SX Mini with its info card, MAD, USB cable, and not much else. Cool. Mod itself got a little 18, no, not an 18650, a 2700 in here. The Sanyo A's, the sexy ones. Cool. The DAMN Vape. The DAMN box for the DAMN Vape. Mini DAMNs. Oh, there we go. Now this, okay, so this is cheating because I've already seen all this packaging. This looks sort of like something you would get for your Xbox when you order it off eBay. You know, little thumb pad things. This is the exact same kind of box that it looks like it comes with. Now, the box itself is actually kind of cool. It does come with a whole lot of stuff. It comes with the RDA, obviously. Comes with 2 pre-built coils, and it comes with this weird thing. I don't know what this is, to be honest with you. Haven't even read the directions about it yet. It looks like a little, you know, coiler, something that you can, you know, put the coils through, spin it like so, and you end up with little tiny coils like that. So kind of interesting. I'm gonna try it. Comes with a whole bag of extras and things you don't care about. So this is gonna go on this. I think it'll look pretty darn good. What about you guys? So this is going to be my setup for the weekend. We're going to go to the wedding. I'm going to take you with me, and we'll do it then, all right? See you in a second. Let's go. See if I can take you with me. And, of course, there we go. All right, we're out of here. So a few things that I've noticed, this particular coil ends up having to be run at about 4 volts, a little bit higher than that. And as you can tell, right, even at 4 volts, it doesn't entirely throw off the most amount of vapor. However, I will admit the flavor on this is pretty incredible. It's not something I would have expected, to be honest with you guys. But after about 4 volts, it does actually run pretty well. A few things I don't enjoy is, you know, the whole top cap scenario here. I think it's a little bit thick of a material, just enough to hold heat. So after you vape this quite a while, this whole top piece does get hot. And the airflow itself, believe it or not, this little method here, you get all of them, or you get 4, or you get 1. I kind of like it. It wasn't something I thought I'd like in the beginning, but even with it completely open on both sides, this has proven to be plenty of airflow. Something else is that this little indent here where the top cap registers is a very small tolerance. So I find I end up having to do this with a gap and then slowly, right there, it pops. So it's not something that I truly enjoy. I wish the cap kind of popped on a little bit easier. But yeah, you can actually see, the coil in there just. With this, like I said, at about 4+ volts, I was expecting a dry hit because of the way that it's cotton. You have to kind of put something underneath and over top, and it is pretty messy. And I did use this in squonk mode on the road, and the squonk mode worked barely. It was working just enough where, it took plenty of time for it to return the juice back to the actual bottle itself, and that's mostly because of just how much cotton is in here. So yeah, it's a kind of a take it or leave it scenario. This is very specialized. I am going to build proper coils in this before we finish up this review, but preliminarily, it ain't that bad. I thought that the airflow would be a lot worse, or at least a lot less precise, but again, because of the coil surface area that you're getting, and with 4 volts on this, I keep repeating myself, but it's actually okay. So pleasantly surprised there. I was running it at 4 for a while on both sides, and again between 48 and 50 watts. And yeah, I think this actually goes pretty well with this appearance wise. This has kind of got the got the Darth Vader Emperor logo a little bit, but yeah, I like the photochemical etching they've done here. These are clean. They're not burry. There wasn't a whole lot of oil on this thing when I got it. It wasn't too sticky from the manufacturer. I actually really like the strip tip. I know that's kind of a silly thing to point out as a pro, but it's just a plastic tip with this little ring. Now, I mean, I love drip tips that have little accessories like this, because if I wanted to, I can make another little ring like this and I can implement it in whatever setup I'm using. But I like that it's a plastic tip, so the temperature is going to be much, much lower. But then I have the option of, oops, there you go, option of breaking my drip tip. Now, an option of a beauty accessory, so to speak. It's just kind of a fun little extra. Plus, it kind of changes the look of the top cap a little bit. So yeah, these are preliminary thoughts, guys. We'll do some more up-close stuff and, of course, some usage stuff while I go to the wedding today. And yeah, I'll keep you posted. Bring you along the ride. Today is the day we're going to do the dress rehearsal, so I gotta change real quick and get over to the church. Let's go! We're back. So I've gotten quite a few hours and days worth of use out of this thing, and the only thing that's really for me left undecided is how easy is it to wrap a new coil using their little tool, and secondly, does it work with Claptons? Because this is a very specific vape. I'm not going to say I don't like it, I'm going to say it's different. So who am I to poo-poo when someone does something differently? So I've got myself here a little length of wire, and I've got their little tool. Now, the thing to point out immediately is that their little tool, or rather what they use, and the coils that come with it do not match. Okay? So, as you can probably tell here, this coil has been wrapped, and ideally that would fit right on top, like so, and it doesn't. It just doesn't. So, we're going to try and make our own and see how it compares with the one that it came with. So, like so, I'm assuming something of that nature, I'm sure. And so you can kind of see where this is going. Now, comparative to the one that was given, it looks a little different. I don't know. So, at least they give you this just in case you actually want to continue with the size coils and method of coil that they give you. I don't know, I'll give this a 6 out of 10. usability. And bringing this home, many hours. I was running this on 4 point something volts, 4.2 I think it was, and no dry hits. So I actually thought it was going to dry hit quite regularly, and I was pleasantly surprised. I was pleasantly surprised with two things, if I was to be fair. I was pleasantly surprised that the build didn't fail, meaning the cotton, the wicking, something didn't go wrong and it didn't give me a horrendous dry hit or worse. The other thing I was pleasantly surprised with is the actual amount of flavor that comes off of this. This is not necessarily a crazy cloud chucker. It will do so, but if you start pushing it at that kind of level, it'll get hot really quick, as I mentioned. So I was really surprised that it didn't suck. You know, because if you really look at this in detail, the cotton isn't necessarily pushing up against this coil very hard, which I tried to do by wrapping the whole over-under thing and making sure that the cotton was pushing back out. But the heat curve on this was actually really, you know, pretty linear. A little linear up, a little linear down. It wasn't like, for example, a notch coil where if the cotton separates, or mesh, if the cotton separates at all, you know, you're screwed. So let's take this apart. I want to get in there and I want to put Claptons in, because I feel like if it doesn't work with Claptons very well, there's your answer. Yeah, so as you can see with the build deck, you know, from the previous little snippet there, I left these coils pretty up high. Now, if I had to give a bit of feedback to the manufacturer, I would just simply say, I would pre-cut these leads to the exact level that you wanted to, both in the part that goes in the bottom, the negative side, and the part that goes in the top. And the reason for that is that you already have a pre-sized, fitted little coil here that you can place into the atomizer, and the user doesn't have to guess where to cut it. For me, not a big deal. For somebody who looks at this thing and goes, what do I do? Might be a big deal. Here's where I think it breaks down. It only works if you cotton it a certain way, and the way that you cotton it takes a lot of cotton, and it takes a little bit of, you know, experience and know-how to get it to cotton and work properly. Now, if she works in this configuration, which she does, and if she works now with these Claptons, which I'm going to put in there right now, then you have yourself a more well-rounded atomizer that happens to have a specialized kind of niche towards this stovetop flavor coil. But yeah, without further ado, hammer time. Let's get this done. So I think immediately the place where it could have, you know, gotten better or been better, these are still warm, is if the coil screw, the pinching screw on the positive side, didn't actually come in this direction, but actually came in from the top. And the only reason I mention that is that it then allows you to use both this type of coil and Claptons much easier. Now, if you're using round wire Claptons, it won't be as much of an issue, but as you can tell, I'm not, because I like to push the boundaries here. Let's see what this can actually do. So in order to get this to work properly, you are going to have to bend one of the leads down, or up, or what have you. So in this particular case, I'm actually going to be using the opposite terminal here. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to bend this here and pull, just so I've got a little 90-degree thing going on, just like so. Something pretty similar to that, if not exactly that. I'm going to do the same for the other side as well. All right, this is where the pre-cut leads comes into place. It's a pretty shallow, you know, depth there. So if I pull that out, it goes down to the bottom. It'll go past the screw, which is nice, but for this, in order for this to be, you know, sort of accurate, I've probably got to cut off till about, oh, I don't know, there at least. So if that goes in the bottom, that should go up top, and as you can see, it's kind of okay. Ooh, I'm pushing it a little bit. Let me trim off some more on the bottom. Now, we've got ourselves a little bit of a problem here, again, because, like I said, the way that the coil would be installed relies heavily on the fact that there is going to be another screw point coming down. So what I'm going to do is sort of manhandle this into place. So I'm just going to hold that still, which is pretty much where I want that coil to end up, rather. And then I'm just going to tighten this thing down and see what happens. Yeah, it's not pretty. You can tell. It's a little funky, but nevertheless. Right, so already decided here, this is yeah, this is already less than ideal. However, we're gonna run it, see how it goes. Should be happy. Cotton time. Okay, got our coils in, let's give it a vape and put this one to bed, shall we? I'm gonna open up the airflow all the way just cause kind of get it. Best case scenario for right now. That's a lot of airflow. Holy cow. Give that one more try here, shall we? Whew. Okay, she chucks. Well, there's your verdict. I take back what I said prior. This thing actually works really well with regular Claptons. Granted, the flavor is nowhere near as good as with these little, you know, little microcoil type, or not microcoil, sorry, stovetop coils. Whew, that got my temperature up a little bit. All right, here's the thoughts, right? Positives. It actually vapes really well with the coils that it comes with. The flavor is way better than I was expecting with the coils that it comes with. With Claptons, especially ones that aren't meant for this, it clouds like crazy. And I guarantee if I shut that airflow down, drop the resistance, drop the wattage just a tiny bit, this will start to get a little bit more of that sweetness out of the juice that I'm used to getting on some of my other little tiny flavor drippers, but this is definitely a cloud possible device if you wanted to. Again, with the coils that I've got in, the Claptons now, if I were to chain vape that probably 5-10 minutes, it would get really warm, exactly like it did with these little, you know, little guys. But again, more airflow, less heat, you know, it's a trade-off for the most part. So focusing away from the coils, right? The way the deck is designed, is it bad? No, it's not, okay? So it's just different. The whole like Trident thing, Personally, I think, you know, for me, it's always about simplicity and engineering. When I looked at the positive post, I kind of laughed a little bit because it's not about engineering. It's about kind of like, ooh, look, we have a different positive post shape, you know, like kind of thing. Versus it could have been cleaner. I mean, you know, I'm not complaining about the way it was machined. I just mean the way it was designed, it was very much like, look at our artistic piece that we have kind of in the middle of this atomizer, rather than it being maybe slightly more accommodating for flat staple fuse Claptons, things like that, rather than it being like, well, we're putting screws in different angles because reasons, right? So that's probably my only real aesthetic critique. Outside of that, I really love the deep engraving, and by deep engraving, I mean like maybe, I don't know, 0.3, 0.4 mil, it's in there. So the way that the atomizer is shaped with the hexagonal, or octagonal in this case, sleeve, it really catches the light in different ways, and it was something that it kind of grew on me a little bit. When I first saw it, I was like, okay, well, it's overly designed just because, you know, and again, this is based off the center post as well. But, you know, having it on the SX Mini here, especially the SL class, it fits. Like, you know, putting this on the counter or something at the wedding, it looked awesome. Holding it around, you know, it looked a little bit more jeweled, a little bit more done up. So, I was really happy with that. Now, cons here, right? I would say that not hardly anybody is familiar with a stovetop coil anymore. Yes, they give you a little building tool wherever I put that right now, but it's not the most intuitive to use. And in fact, when you do use it, you know, the center is kind of funky. I'm just complaining, guys. This is all I'm doing. I'm just complaining. You know, it's not something that is like super, super simple to do. And because the way that the coil comes out, it's oblong and the coils are touching. Definitely not as pretty, you know, as the ones that they give you here. So, I don't know. Kind of make your own decision on that one. But definitely if you're using a Clapton, it works beautifully. So, at the end of the day, guys, the DAMN Vape, the DAMN RDA, this DAMN review, I kind of liked it. It's okay. I would say, you know, you get the green light for this one. You know, definitely be choosy with your coils. If you have a specific kind of coil setup that you're used to running, at least try the stovetops first. This is the first time I've seen a company do a stovetop coil vertically, kind of. You know, typically they're doing something else. Yeah, I guess I have to commend them to a degree. So yeah, if you're curious to try this sort of unique little experience with the coils and the deck and all that kind of fun stuff, give it a try. I think it's reasonably inexpensive for what it is. And yeah, with a few little improvements, I think it could be a hell of an RDA. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, comment, like, share, bell, all that stuff. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. See ya. Alright, made it to the hotel. Got my vape still. Still enjoying it. That was horrible.
finally got that third string in.